guys, so I've had a lot of questions from you guys on Facebook and Instagram about what curriculum we are using this year. So I thought I'd jump in, I'd show you guys a video of what we're currently using. If you find it helpful, I hope that you will share. Comment below, subscribe to our channel, and yeah, let's get started. So we have a wide variation of curriculum. People always ask me what curriculum I use, and I'm like, how much time do you have? So I'm gonna take that time today and tell you guys a little bit about it, but there's no way that I can get into all the reasons that I love these curriculums or why we chose to do that. So I'm gonna give you a brief overview with just a few reasons, but if you want a video on any particular curriculum and want to know more about it, drop that in the comments, and I would be happy to make one for you guys. I also have some tips and tricks that I'll be sharing throughout the video, but I can always expound more in a future videos. So let's get started with math. So we started doing one math curriculum last year and absolutely hated it. Actually, it's two years ago. Absolutely hated it and switched mid-year. So that being said, we switched to math lessons for a living education, which I love. I'm crazy about it. I've talked about it on my Facebook page before. You guys know that for sure. But math lessons for a living education, very colorful, great, just enough repetition, not too much to be annoying, but not so little if they don't master the concepts. Story-based Charlotte Mason math curriculum, but for master books. We're going to be using this. I've got a kindergarten or first grade and 2 third graders. And so my third graders are finishing this up. They're almost done, but we didn't quite finish this summer. So we're going to finish up with book 2. My second grader just started this book and it's level 2. And then my kindergartner is going to be doing Saxon Math K. Now, I'm not a big Saxon fan. Honestly, that's one of the curriculums that we tried and just did not work for us. But my daughter has some special needs. She has a genetic disorder, and a lot of things just come a little bit harder to her. She's super bright, super talented, but just needs a little bit more repetition, things broken into much smaller steps. And Saxon Math K definitely does that. And that's one of the advantages of homeschooling, is getting to personalize their education and personalize their curriculum. So my kindergarten will be using Math K from Saxon. My second grader is using Math Lessons for a Living Education. My third graders, once they finish Math Lessons for a Living Education level 2, which like I said, they're gonna be done by the end of this month probably, but once they get done with that, we are actually going to try teaching textbooks. Program, it's all computer-based or online. You can do it on a tablet or whatnot. And we're gonna switch to that for them. Part of the reason we haven't done that in the past is because they start at third grade. So we needed to be in third grade first, or at that level. And so part of the reason why we're switching for that this year is not because we don't love this curriculum. I absolutely love Math Lessons for Living Education. And if teaching textbooks doesn't work, we will come right back to this. But as a mom of 4 homeschool kids and 2 toddlers/babies, my hands are very full and I'm doing a lot of teaching. And so I thought if I can kind of outsource some of that math and have them be able to do that themselves on the computer, it does all the grading, it does all the teaching, whatnot. I just have to jump in and answer questions and keep them on track, which is a big enough job in and of itself. So we're going to give that a try once we're done with level 2 and just see how it works. But worst case scenario, if it's not for us, we'll come back to and just do level 3 of the math lessons. So I will definitely post a video after we've been doing that for a while and let you guys know how it's going and what we think of it. So that's math. For history, we are using Story of the World. I have the book, level 1, and I also have the activity book. I will say that I've tried to do this in the past. I tried it a year or 2 ago, and it just was too much, not because the information was too much, but because I got a little carried away, and I wanted to do an activity every single week, and we got all these extra supplemental books, and I just got really into the program and bought in hook, line, and sinker, which in and of itself is not bad unless mom can't keep up, which is what happened. And so we ended up kind of doing it, and then it fizzled out, and so we ended up only doing history for, this was 2 years ago, ended up only doing history for a smaller period of time, and then just turned to just reading historical books. So it was okay, but I really love the program. But I think what I'm doing this year is I've committed, I promised myself, told my husband so he can keep me accountable, and now I'm telling you guys so you can keep me accountable. But we're going to read through the story of the world history. We actually have it on CD as well, so the kids are going to listen to it a couple of different times in its entirety throughout the school year. But we're going to read primarily, and then on the weeks that it works, we'll do extra activities or extra books, but we are not going to put that on myself that I need to do that every week. So just when there's a project that seems really good or we're having a really good week and want to dive in a little bit extra, we can do that, but we don't have to do it every week. Just trying to keep things realistic, which is one of my themes for this year, is that I realized that I need to be more realistic in my expectations. Also for science, we're using Apologia, Flying Creatures of the Fifth Day. This is their first zoology book. They're number one, they've got a series of zoology books. We're also going to be using the junior notebooking journals. I've heard good things about it. We'll see. I'll let you know if it's worth money. But we're going to try this. Everybody's going to do science together, all of us together, and history all together. My 3 older ones, my 2nd grader and my 2 3rd graders, are going to do the journals. My kindergartner's not. It's above where she's at. But I will probably find some coloring pages or whatnot for her to color while we're listening. So that's that. Next is reading, and we are big All About Reading fans. We love All About Reading. It's a great program. It served us well. We've done it for the past several years. My kids are growing tremendously with this program. However, that being said, we kind of had a rough start. Both of my sons had a hard time with starting to jump into reading, and they're still struggling a little bit, but we're really seeing something just clicked. At the end of last school year, over the summer, honestly, is when it happened, is over the last end of the summer, we really saw them start to click, and we're going at a much faster pace now. But we did take an extra long time through this program. So we are, again, not exactly where I was planning on being, but that's okay. Again, the pro of homeschooling. We can be at the level that they're at when they're at it. And the truth is, 9 times out of 10, they will catch up, and they'll get to where I would like them to be. But even if they don't, the point is that we're growing and learning, and we are always learning. I want to instill that love of learning in my children, so that even if they don't get it all while they're in school, before they graduate, formally graduate and formally stop learning, that they will have that love and excitement to go and learn those things themselves. That maybe to fill in the holes. So anyways, all that to say, my 2nd grader is finishing level 1, and she is going to be moving into level 2 here very soon. And my sons are about halfway, a little more than halfway through All About Reading level 2, and we'll be moving to level 3 this year, Lord willing. And so anyways, we just try to remember to not compare. It's super hard as moms in general, but especially homeschool moms, and to take our kids, and the idea is just to cheer them on, to give them the tools that they need to succeed, and to keep practicing, and it'll get better. I'm sure. That's what I'm being told. I really hope that's true. Anyways, so that is reading for this year. Now, I know that we're a little strange in the fact that we do our language arts as several different things. So we have a reading curriculum, we have a writing curriculum, we have a grammar, and we have a spelling. It can sound a little overwhelming, but just know we don't do all of these every day. If we did, we would never be done with school, and I would be pulling my hair out. So just keep that in mind before I jump into this. So the rest of our language arts, for grammar, we use Grammar Galaxy. I love Grammar Galaxy. Yeah, we use Grammar Galaxy. It's a story-based, again, story-based Charlotte Mason type approach to grammar. It has a teacher book and a workbook, or I should say it's the teacher book and the missions manual, because they go on missions. They use it's a whole story about a family from space, and they conquer the different planets that have all these problems. They have a problem on the spelling planet, and they have all sorts of fun names and neat storylines to go along with it. It's super easy work. It only takes about about 5-10 minutes, maybe max, a day. And I mean, the longest day is you read a story once a week out of the teacher's book. And then they have little activities that take 2 to 5 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes, absolute tops, that you do a couple of times a week, but not every day. So it's a great thing. We've got some that are going to be in the Nebula version and some that are going to be in the Protostar version. So, and then we have the Yellow Star as well. If they get through all of that, then we will move them on to the next level. Melanie, the author of that, is super friendly, awesome. I'm glad to know her and to be able to share her awesome curriculum with you guys. Also, for writing, we are going to be using WriteShop. I'm brand new to this curriculum. So we've done it this week, and the kids are loving it so far. It's a little easy. I went on the easier side. The idea is that they have a primary A, B, and C that's for the early writers. Now, my 3 older ones, definitely grade-wise, they would fit more in a B or a C. But knowing that I wanted to bring my kindergartner along in it, and just knowing that we've never done any formal writing curriculum up until this year, I thought it might be a good idea to start in A, even if A was a little easier, which it definitely is. It's a good level for my kindergartner. It's an okay level for my 2nd grader. It is way too easy for my 3rd graders. But there's some really important concepts in here that are being taught that they have not learned. And so what we're doing is we're doing the accelerated pace. They have 3 different sort of paces that you can take your kids through. So you can do like a lesson every week, which is the accelerated pace. You can do a lesson every 2 weeks or a lesson every 3 weeks. So we're doing the lesson every week. So with that schedule, assuming we stick with that pace, we'll go through all of A, all of B, and all of C in 1 year. Now with A being a little bit easier, for my older ones, I'm just requiring more. So if it says to, write 3 sentences, write 3 very simple sentences, I'm having them write much more complex sentences and maybe a larger quantity, or making sure, working on writing it themselves, editing. For spelling this year, we are using Sequential Spelling. This is another new curriculum for us this year. I have no idea how it's going to go. We had started out last year, about halfway through the year, we added spelling. We added all about spelling. Since I love all about reading so much, I knew I'd love all about spelling, and it's okay. I'm still not objected to using it. We may even move to that this year. If this doesn't work, we might go back to that. For kids, I didn't want to add on another thing with having to do something so teacher intensive for spelling, especially when I felt like that was a subject that we could maybe make a little bit more independent. So we're going to give Sequential Spelling a try. I'll let you guys know what I think. We also will use this with Spelling City, which is an online program that's totally free, and you can plug in your own spelling words, or better yet, import an already done spelling list. Pretty much any spelling book you find out there, a mom has already taken the time to type it up. You just drop it in. You can import it through there. They have a whole database of ones that people have shared, and it gives a whole bunch of games and activities to practice those spelling words. So the idea is I'll give them the list. They will practice it throughout the week, and both in physically handwriting it out, but also in playing on Spelling City, practicing those games, and then we'll test at the end of the week. So I'll let you guys know what I think. Also, going into my kindergartner, she won't be doing spelling. She is doing writing with us. She's also doing Easy Peasy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this curriculum. I really hadn't very much until this year, but Easy Peasy is an online curriculum, and it is actually completely free, 100% free. If you guys are on a budget, this is a great option. They go all the way from like pre-K to middle school, high school age, and basically what it is it's a group of people that have put together resources. I don't know what the older grades look like exactly, but for this we're doing Getting Ready 1 and Getting Ready 2, hopefully, but at least Getting Ready 1, which is part of their pre-K kindergarten program. And what they've done is they've gone all over online, and they found all of these different things. Great YouTube video learning songs, great Starfall and some of these other websites, found these great activities for reinforcing letter sounds and colors and numbers and whatnot. They've gone and found worksheets and stories and whatnot, and they've compiled it all together and basically giving you links to everything. So it's not in a book. This is a little bit of a workbook that is their information. Obviously, they can't print out all the information in one book because it's other people's information. That would be copyrighted. But basically, you go online to Easy Peasy Homeschool, and you find the grade, you click on it, and it will give you a day-by-day lesson plan already written out, and it takes you through it. So right now, my daughter is working on, again, she just needed that little bit easier pace, so we're starting at the preschool. It's really a preschool kindergarten level. It's not completely preschool. So we're starting with the letters, learning how to write them, say them, and whatnot, and then we'll be moving into beginning reading by the end of the program. So definitely check it out. I can't go into all of it as much as I'd love to, but definitely go check out Easy Peasy Homeschool for any grade. But especially their preschool. They're getting ready 1, getting ready 2. I'm really impressed with. So for CopyWork, handwriting. I really wanted to work on handwriting this year, but I'm also trying to keep things realistic and realizing that we're just doing a lot already. So what we're doing is we're actually doing these awesome CopyWork sheets. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it is from the multitaskingmom.com. I'll drop that link below. But basically what it is she has a whole bunch of different, some are free, some cost, but totally worth it. But she has different CopyWork sheets on different topics. So like this one is beaver facts, okay? So then you would go here and it would give you some kind of facts. So American beaver tails are from 7.75 inches to 12 inches long. Or American beavers typically weigh 60 pounds and are 23 to 39 inches in length, not including their tails. But it just gives you a little bit of information about a particular animal or a topic, and the kids copy it. It's great because it's teaching them these fun facts as well as teaching them CopyWork skills and handwriting. So it's something super easy. It was very affordable, and I felt like it was something we could do. So the 3 older ones are doing this one. The kindergartner has her own CopyWork sheets from that same website, from multitaskingmom.com. And but they're more just working on really beginner skills rather than full passages of things. And she has different levels of difficulty. My Bible, I'm not going to go into that too much because I have a video on all the Bible resources we're using this year, but 2 of the ones I just wanted to talk about real fast was My Brother's Keeper. This is done by, it's Learning to Love Your Siblings God's Way. It's a digital curriculum that you print out. I've got all the kids ready to go. This is the same people that do that Do Right book that I talked about in my Bible video. We just finished Do Right, and we're going to be moving into this one, hoping that it helps with some of our homeschooling days as we go through some sibling squabbles, learning to love your siblings, care for your siblings, and be thankful for your siblings. So excited to go through this with them. We also use Exploring the Bible by David Murray, a Bible reading plan for kids to help instill that idea of starting a personal devotions for children. Sorry, I gotta go super fast, but I'll also say we do a decent amount of stuff on the iPad, but it's actually, we use reading eggs with our kids. So I work on All About Reading with 2 kids every day. So I work with 2 kids while the other 2 kids are doing reading eggs, which is a great app. If you haven't heard of it, you should definitely check it out. I'll put the link below. You can try, I think, a month for free. But the idea is it's a great reading program that really helps build those skills in fun and exciting ways, but it's an actual curriculum. It's not, I don't know if you could use it alone, but it's not just like these games that you find on your tablet to reinforce reading. It really has a methodical approach to reading and goes for a wide variation of skills beyond reading. So we found it recently. We've tried it. It took me a long time to jump in because the price tag's a little high. There are discounts if you're a family and whatnot. There's some great deals on there. They have a Math Seeds also. It's kind of a tied in together program, which is reviewing math concepts with these fun games and programs. It took me a long time to jump in because of the price tag, but when I stopped looking at it as, I tried a month free and loved it, and when I stopped looking at it as an app and started looking at it as a curriculum, I was like, it's not actually that much per year when you think about how much I'm spending on other curriculums. And because reading is something we're struggling with, any help we can get to reinforce is awesome. Plus, what I do is I work with two with All About Reading, two while they're working on the iPad independently. So everybody's getting reading every day, and the next day I switch. So we just put it on a loop like that, and it's been really awesome. It's freed me up because listening to 4 beginning readers, let's just be real for just 1 second. Listening to 4 brand new beginning readers where we are decoding every single word can get very exhausting day in and day out. I love my children. I love watching them learn. It's so exciting to see them to catch these new concepts and these visions and get all excited, but it'll make you pull your hair out if you listen to the same book over and over again, taking 20 minutes to read the same page. It's okay. It's awesome. It's one of the joys of homeschooling, but to have it where I was only teaching 2 kids, back to being realistic here, where I was only teaching 2 kids the teacher-intensive program once a day, and the other 2 could do something independently that would continue to help with their reading skills, sounded way too appealing to pass up. And my husband's like, it is worth the money, do it. So we're trying that this year, and then the Spelling City's on the tablet as well, at least for spelling. Last but not least is what we use for morning time. Again, could do a whole video on that. If you guys want to see that, let me know. So for our morning time, we alternate. We do a hymn study every single day. We sing through one hymn, and then every once in a while we'll read through the history of or the story behind that hymn. So that's what we're doing in our morning time, but we're also rotating through several other activities. We're rotating through our read alouds and sign language. We're rotating through our geography, and then also our writing activity, where we're committing to write 1 letter per kid every single week to a different friend or family member that is out of town to help practice our writing skills and whatnot. And so we are really excited about that. This is probably one of my favorite little extras that I just couldn't give up. I know that we already have a lot on our plate, but this is one of the ones that the kids love, that I love, and so we had to find a place for it. So we're doing it about twice a week. Again, we loop. So anyways, geography. It is called Simply Stated. It is by Katie Campbell and Sydney Douglas. Sydney Douglas, I've got the privilege of meeting her. She is a local Wichita, Kansas homeschool mom. She wrote this curriculum. It is no longer available for purchase, unfortunately, on her website or on Amazon or anything like that, but she has several copies left if you guys want one. She has given me permission to give out her email. I'll drop it in the links below. You can shoot her an email and she will get you one of these copies. Love it. But basically, in a nutshell, I wish I could talk a lot about it, but in a nutshell, what it is it breaks down each state. It gives you a reading list of books to get from your library. So you go, you check out the books from your library, and they're all, they give you a brief description of what the book is about. You do not pick all of these. You just pick like 2 or 3 books, tops, and you get to read them with your kids. They're awesome, living books. Different books, some are pictures, some are chapter books, whatever, but you pick what works for you. You read about that state, and then if you want, as a supplementary thing, you also, they highly recommend getting the Dover coloring book, which is reproducible. So I photocopy the map of that state for each kid each week. We read a fun little fact in the 50 states. Don't know much about the 50 states from Kenneth Davis. And we read It Happened in America by Lila Pearl, one story for each state. So right now, we always reserve the right to change. I feel like being tethered to a homeschool curriculum and forcing yourself to finish it out can really be detrimental to your homeschool. If it's just not working, then move on. I know it can be a little more expensive, and you definitely don't want to do it too willy-nilly because of the cost of both the time spent and invested in it, but also the money. I realize that, but I do think if something's just not working, change it. Kids are different. Different kids require different things. So what works for my kindergartner, for my oldest son when he was in kindergarten, to what works for my youngest daughter in kindergarten is not going to be the same, and that is okay. So we're constantly discovering new curriculums. We are doing just sort of a review. We are doing Bible morning time all together. We do our science and our history. We alternate those, so we don't do them each day. We alternate science one day, history the other day. We're doing that all together. We're doing writing all together. We're doing, let's see, Bible, writing, history, science, and is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. We're doing those all together. Math and reading are done separately. Everybody does those individually. We do not group those together. And then for grammar and spelling, they alternate. The older ones are doing that, but not my kindergartner. And they alternate days on that as well. So I hope that gives you a look into our homeschool curriculum. Feel free to ask questions. Share this video if it's been helpful. I post videos every Saturday, and an exciting announcement starting next week. I'm going to be posting videos on Wednesday as well. So every Wednesday and Saturday, expect a video. At least one of them is usually on homeschooling, but I also talk about topics like home management and parenting and how to make the most of those little moments. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Talk to you next time. Bye.